All right, welcome. I want to take this time to talk about what coaching really is. I've had a lot of questions about that, and I figured I should probably just make a quick video about it because this question really comes up a lot. Now, I think a lot of it is people just don't know about coaching. It's a relatively new discipline. It's only about 35 years old or recognized as such. So it's understandable that people don't know much about it. If you look at our parents' generation, really, I'm almost 40 years old, so my parents' generation, they didn't really know about coaches. But as a discipline, at least, I think people have always been around, helping with mindset alignments, helping you guide you in life. But to truly have a defined discipline with tools and tricks backed by research, that really is the new a new piece of it. So coaching really is a fairly new discipline. So for people not to know what a coach really does, I don't think is all that surprising. So what is coaching? So in general, I would say there's two things that coaches work on. The first one is setting goals. Okay, so if you don't know where you're going, right? If you don't know where you're going, if you don't know what your goals are, how do you know where you need to go? You don't. You need to have goals. So the first part of coaching is setting reasonable, attainable, realistic goals. And then the second part of coaching is once we have those goals established, well, we still have to figure out a way to get you there, right? We still have to figure out how to get you to reach your goals, how to be successful at reaching your goals. So those are the two things. One is setting goals, and then two, how do we get you there? That's your mindset. So let's look on the goal side of things. So again, they have to be realistic, right? They have to be attainable. They have to be something that we think you can actually achieve. It doesn't matter if you set goals that are far-fetched. If you think there's something that you truly cannot get to yet, maybe some point in the future, but really goals have to be attainable. They have to be something you can get to. Otherwise, they're just dreams. And dreams are not set in reality, right? Dreams are something that are just ideas floating around in your head. And that's great. That's where goals come from. But if you don't have something that you even think you can get to, you're not even going to try it. You're not going to pursue goals that, or you're not going to pursue dreams that you think are far-fetched, right? If you don't think you can get there, your brain is going to shut you down right here, right now, right? And we haven't even really started yet. So your goals have to be realistic and attainable for you. That's step one. And so that's where coaches begin in setting the right goals, helping you set the right goals for yourself and your future success, right? We don't want dreams. Dreams are great. Dreams is where everything starts. And we want you to dream all day long. But we have to turn those dreams into realistic goals first, because if we don't, we're not going to get there, right? We don't know where we need to go if we don't have realistic goals, right? So step one is getting goals so that we know where we're going. And then step two is going to be getting your mindset tweaked, aligned, refocused, however you want to look at it, in order to get you to where you want to go, get you to achieve those goals, get you towards that success, right? But step one is we got to have goals. We got to know where we're going. So that's step one of coaching, is setting you up for success by setting realistic and attainable goals for you. Now, once we know where we want to go, now we have to figure out how are we going to get there. And that is your mindset, right? Your mindset, how you look at the world from a subconscious level. That's important. It's on a subconscious level. You're not intimately aware of what your brain is doing most of the time. As a matter of fact, some people say that or our thoughts are 95% in the subconscious. 95%. Now, I don't know where that number comes from. I don't know how you figured that out, because you don't know what's in the subconscious. But I certainly do believe that a lot of the stuff that we do and a lot of the stuff that drives us day in, day out is based in the subconscious, right? It's in that subconscious where you're not actively thinking about it. Well, you're actively thinking about it, but you're not aware that you're actively thinking about it, right? That's the piece, the awareness piece. Because if you think about it, having an awareness, having those more conscious thoughts are important, right? We all know what it takes to be healthy. We all know what it would take to get a six-pack ab. But just because we know those things doesn't mean all of us are doing it, right? We can buy the playbook on how to become a millionaire, and we can follow the playbook and become millionaires. It's all out there, right? You can get on the internet and figure out what's the easiest way to become a millionaire, follow the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and boom, you're a millionaire. It works. Why do most people don't do it? Same thing with six-pack abs, right? We all know how to get six-pack abs. It's all about diet and exercise. Why do most people not have six-pack abs? We all know that we should have, diet, the right diet and exercise, but we don't do it, right? Even if you look at people who smoke or who use alcohol or other drugs, right? They know those drugs are inherently bad for their health, and yet they still do it. So at the conscious level, we know things, but we're not acting on those things, right? So that's where the subconscious comes in. We need to act on the subconscious, because on the conscious level, even though we know what's right, even though we know what we have to do, we don't do it, right? Otherwise, we'd all be sitting on a beach in Cabo with six-pack abs, drinking rainbow-colored cocktails. And that's just not reality, right? Most of us don't do that because our subconscious really drives what we do. And so that's the second part of coaching, is getting into your subconscious, figuring out your mindset, and then reframing it, reshaping it, refocusing, and massaging it in such a way that you're now aligned with your goals, right? And so you're on this path towards your future success to reach the goals that you have set, the goals that we know you can reach, the goals that we now think are realistic with the right mindset. That's step 2 of coaching, is figuring out what you are thinking about, so that we can reshape that into what you should be thinking about, so that you can be aligned with your success. Now, that's an important piece of coaching, all right? So you have to be open and receptive to allowing someone else, your coach, into your mind, into your thoughts, into your subconscious, to help you reframe, refocus, shape, massage, right, your subconscious into the right form it needs to be in order to align you with your success. You are going to have to be vulnerable with your coach, right? You have to let that person into your brain. So you have to find the right person that you think you can connect with, have a good relationship with, someone you can trust. And on top of that, you have to be open to let them in. You have to be receptive to them coming into your mind to help you align you and your mindset towards your future success, okay? So that's what coaches do, and that's who coaches are, right? We help you massage your thoughts or your subconscious in such a way that you're aligned for your future success. We figure out where you want to go, where you should be going, and how we should be getting you there, right? So that's what coaching does. Now, the important question here that I get as a follow-up then is, well, how is this different from therapy? How is this different from counseling? There's 2 very big distinctions here. The first distinction is therapy looks at diagnosable conditions. Coaching does not. Okay, so therapy looks at diagnosable conditions, whether that's depression, anxiety, PTSD, you name it. Those are conditions that are diagnosable. There's a certain set of criteria for each and every one of them, but they're diagnosable conditions that you can write on a chart and say, you have this, right? And because you have this, there are now different ways that we know how to treat that, how to approach that, how to help you out, some of which may require medicines, right? So you may need a chemical to help you overcome these issues that are being addressed by therapy. In coaching, we do not have that tool, right? In coaching, we do not diagnose you with any condition. We do not prescribe you any medications. That is really the realm of therapy and counseling. The other piece of looking at it is we're looking at where you want to go and how are we going to get you there. Therapy looks more at your past, right? Looking more at how did you come to be where you are at today? Why are you who you are? Okay. Now, coaching will look into some of that as well, but only in the context of the future-oriented of how do we get you into the future? How do we get you towards your goals, right? That's the only way. That's the only time we're really going to look at your past, the hows and the whys of who you are, because we need to figure out where we're starting from to know how we're going to get to where we want to go. But therapy really looks more at how can we make you feel better about who you are today? Okay, how can we make you feel healthier, happier, more in tune with yourself, whatever the issue ends up being with who you are today, right? So both disciplines look at your past, but then they use that information different ways going forward. Therapy looks more at today. Coaching looks more at the future. Therapy looks at conditions that we can diagnose and treat. Coaching really just looks at goals that we can set for yourself, that we think are realistic and attainable, and then how do we get you there? Coaching looks at the past, right? As in the past, it's done, it's over with, we cannot change that. Therapy looks at your past as a way of figuring out how you came to be today so that we can adjust how you feel about today. Okay, again, it's a different way of looking at your past, right? It's a different way of looking at how you came to be who you are, why you are who you are. Both disciplines will look at your past. Both disciplines will try to figure out your thought patterns, try to figure out your subconscious, but then how they're going to act on that information is going to be very different. Now, this is important. There is some overlap between the two disciplines, very much so. Okay, so for us in the coaching world, right, we're trying to figure out how do we get you forward into the future towards your goals to reach the success that you desire. Some people are tied down, they're angered, they're chained by their past. And they also, in addition to coaching, looking at the future, they also will require therapy. They also will require counseling. They may require medications to break those chains, break those anchors, break those ties with their past so that we can work at the future and not just work on today. So there's definitely a lot of overlap between the two. And again, it's a slightly different perspective, right? Because therapy and counseling really isn't looking so much at the future. They're really just looking at the here and now, because the here and now is something that they can address. What we can address in coaching is the here and now only in the way that we can adjust our course towards our future success. Okay. So some people require both. Some people require only coaching. Some people only require therapy. It's like this stereotypical Venn diagram. There's both sides and there's some overlap. Which way is best for you is really an individual decision, individual discussion, because every person is different. Every story is different. The how and why of who you are today is different for everyone, and where you want to go is different for everyone. Everyone's story arc is unique. Your story is different and your story is unique. And I want to hear what your story is so we can discuss more about, is coaching right for you, right? If coaching is the right thing for you, well, then we can work on the coaching side of things. Now, with my medical background, I do have some issues with maybe getting into the grades of therapy a little bit, but I can also refer you out to a therapist or some counselors if I find that is important in order for you to be able to get to where you want to go, right? If your past is anchoring you, is chaining you, is tying you down, you're unable to let go of that in such a way that allows you to reach your goals, well, then you need some therapy in addition to coaching. And we can talk about that individually for your specific situation, but there's definitely some overlap. Some people need both. Some people just need one or the other. But that is really an individual decision for you, an individual discussion between you and your therapist and your coach. So that's those are two very important distinctions. Okay, so keep in mind, change is hard, right? Change is hard. Change is hard for me. Change is hard for you. Change is hard for everybody. But change is difficult. Not difficulty is where growth lies. And growth gets you towards the future. Growth gets you towards success. Growth is how you will be able to reach your goals. Okay, so that's where coaches can help you tune your mindset, set you up for success by setting realistic goals. As long as you are open and receptive to the idea of a coach, as long as you're open and receptive to allowing someone into your brain to massage those thoughts, tweak your mindset, and help set you up for success. At the end of the day, coaching is all about you and your goals and where you are trying to go. Let me repeat that because this is important. Coaching is all about you. It's all about your goals. Where do you want to go? That's what coaches do. Okay. So can I be the coach that will help you succeed? Maybe. Honestly, the only way to find out is sit down and chat. right? So if you and I have a discussion about your goals and your desires and what your future vision might look like, and you think that I'm the right person that can connect with you, that I can have a good relationship with you, that who you trust to allow into your mindset to tweak you and reframe you, then absolutely I would love to be able to help you with that. But even if I'm not, I have a great network of coaches I can refer you out to. There's awesome coaches that you may have a better relationship with. And at the end of the day, coaching is about you, right? We're doing this for you. And so you need to have the right person to help you out on this journey. So I hope this little discussion cleared up some of the nuances of coaching versus therapy. What do coaches do? What do coaches not do? I think anybody can benefit from coaching because we all have difficulties, struggles, challenges that we have in our daily lives that kind of set us back. These little roadblocks, these little stumbling blocks, these little bumps in the road that sometimes can help us misalign our mindset with where we're trying to go. And so a coach will just tweak you and get you back into alignment, especially someone if you have a good trusting relationship, a good long-term trusting relationship with, they can help you out fairly quickly at that point. So if this was helpful, awesome. Let me know what other talks you want me to give on the topic of coaching and mindset. And it's a fascinating topic. I love talking about this stuff. And if you think that I could be the right coach for you, well, reach out. Let's set up a phone call and discuss your goals and desires. And in the meantime, go chase that success.